If you are a gay man and you struggle with anxiety, constant worry, and stresses, this video is for you to help share with you, shine a light on why and how we can actually start to overcome this. Now, anxiety can be very debilitating, right? Anxiety, when you're constantly stressed, anxious, you're worried all the time, it's a difficult feeling. And when it gets worse, it can go as far as panic attacks. And those can feel like death. Now, we all have different varying extents of worry and stress. And the right amount of stress is actually very helpful for us. It helps us do good work. It helps us show up better in life. The challenge here, though, is when stress and worry becomes so overwhelming that it starts to detract from our lives. It starts to hold us back from living the life that we want. So I'm going to share with you a bit of my story about how my previous anxiety developed. I grew up in a chaotic home, meaning there were yelling, door slams, fights, arguments, and sometimes it got so intense, it got physical. I won't go into too much of the details of that, but what it did was it set my nervous system into heightened fight and flight response. And if you don't know what fight and flight response is, that is our nervous system. If you imagine our caveman days, when you're fighting a bear, when a bear comes up, you either have to fight the bear or you run away from the bear. Okay? Now, what happens though is that because I was in this heightened state over a prolonged period of time, stress and anxiety became my default pattern. Meaning, in any situation, my mind would straight away automatically go to the worst case scenario. What if this person hates me? What if this person is out to get me? What if I completely fail and mess this whole thing up? What if I get in trouble? What if I get caught? And there's this feeling of fear of any time something terrible could happen. And over the many years of helping many people internationally, leaders, entrepreneurs, engineers, doctors, artists, performers, CEOs, managers, executives, it doesn't matter how successful they are on the outside, this anxiety, I've noticed, if you have grown in a chaotic home environment from your past, then this anxiety, if you don't look at it and heal it, it stays. I've helped very successful people who constantly fear that they're not doing good enough, have so much self-doubt about their worth. And this is because of their past. They haven't yet learned to heal that, therefore this anxiety state. Now I'm the same, right? When I didn't heal this part, I could perform well on the outside, but this gnawing anxiety, it really held me back from living. The beautiful part about this is if you learn how to heal this, if you learn how to move through this like I have and helped hundreds of other people move through this, you will find living to be freer than you ever thought possible. You will find this joy, this excitement, this exhilaration, this freedom of living. Imagine living day to day with peace, living day to day with this feeling that you are okay, with this knowing that you are safe. Imagine living day to day where you expect good things to happen versus the worst case scenario. What would that feel like? My mission in this video is to shine a light for you on this anxiety itself and help you move through this and heal, start the healing process so you can start to live a life of freedom versus a life where you're constantly afraid. So we'll get back to anxiety. Some of the guys' stories, right? We've had people who've had family members commit suicide. We've had people who have faced physical, emotional, sexual abuse. We have had people face parents' divorces, families breaking apart, toxic relationships of 10 plus years. But none of that means that they had to stay their reality. Because they went through that, they developed all these protective mechanisms, anxiety, stress, constantly looking out for the wrong thing to happen. But we have helped every single one of them build in a better mindset where they started to feel confident in themselves again. They all share with me, I am feeling happier than I've ever felt. I am feeling like myself again. I am feeling better than ever from doing this work. So the first sign of this anxiety that we want to look at is noticing, this is a great sign that you have this anxiety, is if your mind constantly, in a lot of cases, look to the worst case scenario. You look for the worst thing that could happen. So in any case situation, you find, okay, what if this goes wrong? What if I fail? What if I don't succeed? What if this whole thing blows apart? What if I get tripped? What if? And not what if I succeed? Not what if this goes great? What if I find great love? What if this business takes off? What if I feel very good? What if I get into great shape? But what if everything goes wrong? Okay. There's a big sign that this anxiety is rearing its ugly head. Now, when I share ugly head, right, just take a breath with me. I want you to realize that this isn't the worst thing. This isn't something that we need to be afraid of or scared of. Because when we start to look at it, we can start to move through it. Okay? What we avoid festers and grows. What we look at and move through, we heal, and we start to become our whole selves. So one of the first steps, if you want to start feeling better, is to start build awareness on your thoughts. When you constantly go to those worst case scenarios, when you constantly think about the worst negatives, instead of just buying into the thought, instead of just believing that thought as real, I want you to create some distance and challenge the thought. What if this thought isn't real? What if I do? What if I'm not doing as bad of a job as this thought is telling me? What if I can do better? What if I'm actually doing better than I think? What if I'm actually doing great work? What if my colleagues, clients, bosses, employees, what if they actually respect and love what I do? What if I'm improving every single day? So instead of just buying into the thought, which you start with, you're doing a terrible job, you're shit, you can't do this, people are judging you. Instead of just believing that, challenge those thoughts. Because when we start to challenge those thoughts, we can start to build better thoughts in place. We build awareness. Okay, I'm telling myself I'm doing a terrible job. Let's question that. Is this thought true? Am I 100% sure it's true? When you really ask that, oftentimes it's actually no, I'm not 100% sure. I've got a feeling that this is true. I feel like I'm doing a terrible job, but I don't actually know if this is true. Okay, great. That's a great start. I feel like I'm going to stay single and lonely forever. Is that 100% true? Well, I feel that way. It feels like that because my past dates, they haven't worked out. I tried a relationship, it fell apart, didn't work the way I wanted. It was very painful. Is it 100% true you will stay single, lonely for the rest of your life? Well, okay, it's not. I don't know if it's 100% true. I'm not 100% confident. Okay, well, maybe there's a possibility I could find another relationship. Maybe there's a possibility I could find a love. Maybe I've learned lessons from these previous relationships that is actually going to make me wiser for my future ones. You see how when we start to question those thoughts, things can open up? Instead of us just buying 100% believing in that thought, we just question it. I want you to question more of your negative thoughts, the thoughts that bring you down, that tear you down, than to entertain them than to believe them. So question more the thoughts that are negative, that's tearing you down, okay? And entertain more of the thoughts that lift you up. So if you see what we did here, right? You're doing a terrible job. Is it true? Maybe I'm not 100% sure it's true. Maybe I'm doing a better job than I think. Maybe colleagues actually respect me. Maybe my employees, team members, bosses, clients, maybe they actually respect me. Maybe they appreciate my work. What if I'm actually improving every day? What if I'm getting better and better and better? What if I am showing up better every day and I can actually do this? You see how the change in thought pattern helps you start to feel better. This is the biggest thing that helps with anxiety, that's helped me personally, is number one, as soon as I notice a negative feeling inside my body, I go into fear mode, fight and flight response, stress. I feel my whole body tense up, okay? I question the thoughts. I don't just buy into it. Now, I'm going to give you a second tool here because this is tricky, especially when you're in the midst of stress. When we're feeling so stressed and anxious, it's hard. We start to buy into the thought, we believe it, and it's all real. So in that case, we want to do a quick breathing exercise. Breathing in for a count of 4 through the nose, holding for 7 counts, and then out the mouth for 8 counts. Now there are a variety of breathing exercises, but this one is powerful because that counting pattern actually takes our attention away from the stress and to something we can do. And when you have a task at hand for our brain, very specific, you know what to do, you don't have the time to worry. So do this with me. Breathing in through the nose for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding for 7 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out the mouth for 8 counts. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In through the nose for 4, 2, 3, 4. Out the mouth for 7. And I want you now just to count inside your head for 7 counts. When you reach 7, breathe out of the mouth for 8 counts. When you reach 8, do one more round. Breathe in the nose for 4 counts. Hold the breath for 7 counts. And breathe out for 8 counts. And if you're safe to do so, close your eyes while you do this. Do one more round. In through the nose for 4. Hold the breath for 7. And out the mouth for 8. And if your eyes are closed, you can bring them back up. If you want to carry on, feel free to pause this video and take a few more breaths. But when we do this exercise, a few things happen. Number one, actually, I shared, is our mind, when we're counting, we do not have the time to worry. So already we're taking our attention away from the worry, the stress. And we take that attention to the counting, number one. Number two, when we start to breathe in through the nose and the hold and out the mouth, we start to calm down our nervous system, our fight or flight response. We start to calm down. We build more peace, calm, centeredness. And when we bring this calm, peace, and centeredness into our bodies, we start to function in a different way. And now when you're in this space, you can go back and question the thought. Or maybe you do this exercise and you've forgotten a thing completely. What is that problem? Oh, I'm actually doing okay. Now these are some of the smaller tools, the quicker tools that help us move through anxiety, build confidence, If you want the deeper work, okay, I do coach clients on a one-on-one basis that really help you unpack this and build in a whole new set of confidence into your life. Just know that this work takes work. It's not easy, but I promise you it is worth it. I've gone from feeling anxious, constantly worried, stressed out, tense all the time, feeling like the world was always going to fall apart, affecting every interaction I had with others, all the way to today, feeling comfortable in my own skin, to share myself vulnerably, to be authentic, and feel at peace with the authenticity. And I've also helped incredible leaders all over the world do the same thing. Just know that help is available. Let me know in the comments though, what you have found most useful. What do you feel started this anxiety for you? Because that's the first step. When we can actually acknowledge and share, this is my fears, these are my fears and doubts, and this is what happened. Oh, I grew up in an environment where it was very difficult. There was a lot of yelling. There was some abuse involved. When we can actually verbalize some of that pain and trauma, we can actually start to move through it, shine a light on it, and let it go and move past it. What we carry in our hearts, if it's not shared, by the way, I carried this in my heart, I guarded it, I told this to nobody. I felt so afraid to share this. What we guard in our hearts and we're so afraid to share, it actually grows. It makes things worse. And I've seen people, right, in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s even, holding on to these secrets, holding on to this pain their entire lives, never truly letting it go. And it consumed them. But you don't have to live life this way. Because every single one of them, once I help them start to unpack this, share it, let it go, and move in better, develop better thinking patterns, develop tools that help them manage this anxiety. But then ultimately start to see a whole new version of themselves, to tap in to themselves, the version of themselves before all the stuff came into their lives, before they were touched by all these stresses and traumas. They go, wow, I've never felt this good in my life. And I know this is possible for you. Would it take work? Absolutely. Is it easy? Absolutely not. Is it worth it? Absolutely yes. Your whole life will change from this. Your body confidence, love life, relationships, your career. When you start to believe in yourself, really believe in yourself, not just say it, not just do some quick thing, but really feel good in your own skin, feel confident in who you are, your whole life will transform. I can guarantee that for you. So let me know in the comments what those things are for you. Let me know what you're going to try and test out. Let me also know, thirdly, last thing is, if any suggestions of any specific topics you want me to cover, drop them in the comments.